Hi, CD Bestie, Aku, Anson Seabra. Check out my interview with CreativeDisc.com, the number one music website in Indonesia. Yeah.
Okay, so hello CD Bestie, welcome back to another Creative Disc exclusive interview with me, Luthfi. And right now we have a new guest today. Yeah, this is not new, especially because we interview him on August 2020. 2020. It's like almost 2 years ago. It's been a long time, and we want to talk. We want catching up with him because he released new single called "Peter Pan Was Right." But is this my guess was right about it? So please welcome without further ado. This is Anson Seabra once again. Hello, Anson. How are you?
I'm well. How about you?
I'm fine too. I'm fine too. So, where are you? Where are you right now?
I am outside of Amsterdam in the Netherlands, about an hour south of Amsterdam.
Really?
Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
my
I
God!
I'm
Is it on tour?
no, it's not. I'm actually visiting my girlfriend at the moment.
Ooh, so sweet. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, 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 yeah. So, how's Amsterdam?
It's really beautiful. I actually went to Amsterdam in March. We didn't spend much time there on this trip. We're in like sort of a smaller town outside of Amsterdam, but it's much different. The Dutch culture is a lot different than American culture, but I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I'm drinking too much coffee and eating too many croissants, so about par for the course for me, I'd say.
So, okay, let's talk about more about your music called Peter Pan. Peter Pan was right. So, tell me more
Yeah.
about your newest single.
Yeah, so that song is a song I wrote actually. You said we last talked actually in August 2020, and it would have been around that time that I wrote that song. It was sort of right towards the beginning of the pandemic, and I don't know. I've always had sort of like a soft spot in my mind for like fairy tale songs, and I don't know. I wanted to write a song about Peter Pan, and sometimes I feel like as you grow up, you sort of lose the magic for life in a way, and I wanted to write about that. So that's why I say like growing up's a waste of time because it also feels like as you grow up, you get all these responsibilities, and you have to you know make your way in the world, and it can be really difficult if you don't know how to do that or don't feel like you have a sense of direction. So that's kind of what the song's about.
I think this is the song. I know your song is mostly personal based on your personal experience, your
Yeah.
personal story. But I think Peter Pan was right is very, very heavy because it's talk about adulthood, it's talk
Yeah.
about the dream that you chase on childhood being gone away. I think like how can you make it into the song that the feeling, the dreams gone feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that was kind of the goal when I was writing the song, was just like, and I feel like a lot of people my age, because I'm 27, I feel like a lot of people my age feel that way about growing up. I don't know. I feel like especially with social media, it's like really easy to sort of romanticize what your life could be like or what it should be like, and it's sometimes when it doesn't go that way, it can be hard. So that's I guess that's kind of touched on in the song a little bit too.
I think in Peter Pan was right. You have been more realistically with your life, isn't it? Like dreams gone. It's the new phase on your life on this song. I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it definitely does relate to my life, I would say. I mean, like I think the first lyric of the verse is like just a lost boy in a small town, and I definitely grew up in, like, now I live in Los Angeles, but I grew up in a smaller town. Not like a super small town, but compared to LA, like a very small town, and I went to college in a very small town, and I think I sort of understand what it's like growing up somewhere where um, it's just not a big city or something like that. And I think, yeah, I guess you could say the song is definitely more about my real life because, like I said, I've definitely sort of struggled with a lot of these thoughts and feelings myself.
Nice, 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 nice. I'm 27 too, and when I heard Peter Pan was right, I kind of relate to the dream is gone.
Yeah,
The things that you want to chase is like you have been more realistically done with your life. I think it's very very
yeah,
relate to me.
yeah, yeah. I think everyone can relate. I think it's I feel like, well, I think that no one should give up on their dreams, really. But I think in the world we live in, the part of growing up feels like you have to give up on your dreams a little bit. But hopefully, I guess if you're listening to this, don't give up on your dreams, because I didn't. But the song is kind of about that. Feels like you have to.
Okay, speaking about the last time our team met in 2020 August, how's it changed when you are August 2020 and right now in the end of the June of 2022?
Yeah. Um, yeah, my life's a lot different. I mean, I I don't know, let's see. In August, I had just moved into like a new house in the Midwest, and oh, I gotta sneeze. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Gotta get that out of the way. Um, I just moved into a house, and but now I don't live there. Now I live in Los Angeles. It's a whole different thing, and my music. I've been on 2 tours since then, uh, and played a bunch of shows, and written a bunch of new songs, and yeah, my life's a lot different in a lot of ways. But it's also kind of the same. Kind of also just been a very introspective person in that time, and really meditated a lot, and sort of healed myself a lot. Maybe that's actually one of the big differences. I feel like I'm more um, whole inside than I was back then, which is funny because even back then I feel like I was making strides in my mental health and my just my sense of well-being. But now I feel like I really turned a new leaf in that regard.
Wow, there's a lot of change, but I want to ask something. Maybe it's very sensitive or personal. Did pandemic time change your mind, change your perspective in the life?
Yeah. Um, for me, the pandemic, uh, I was already kind of working alone since like 2018. I was like sort of working from home anyways. So when the pandemic hit, it wasn't that much of a change in terms of my work habits. Um, it did, I think everyone with the pandemic, it sort of forced us to like sort of sit with ourselves and think about our problems instead of ignoring them. Um, it did, yeah, I would say it definitely sort of was a catalyst for more introspection for me. And that's ultimately a good thing, I think. But I'm also like I'm kind of a homebody anyways, so I think maybe not as much as some other people. Like I think I was kind of already in that headspace before the pandemic hit, anyways. But it did sort of push me there a little further.
So there's interesting things that I want to ask. Like you've made an Instagram called Advice with Hanson, like Answer
Yes.
with Hanson, yeah. And it's like love yourself. I'm not a therapist. These are just my own thoughts and opinion. Like,
Yeah.
is it like kind of like your maybe like alternative account to maybe
Yeah.
talk to people? Like how like how's the idea behind it?
Yeah. I mean, uh, sometimes people, because like obviously a lot of my songs are sort of like about mental health and sort of like being okay or not being okay. And so I get a lot of questions about like advice sometimes, or just like people want to know how I dealt with my struggles, or if I found any um deeper meaning behind my struggles. And I think I just made that account because I had a lot of discoveries I made that for myself that I wish other people had shared with me, or that I had been able to find a little more easily. And so yeah, on that account I mostly just share um positive encouragement. Although I haven't made a post in a while, actually, um, just because I feel like self love is like a really cheesy, or it can be cheesy. It seems cheesy, mm, and sort of cliche, but it's true. I mean, most people don't really love themselves in the way that they should, and my account was just sort of my attempt to encourage people to do that, I suppose.
Ooh. So I know you've making a lot of personal songs, a lot of relatable song, a lot of songs talk about inner self, mental health,
Yeah,
and everything. How you translate your thoughts, your thoughts into music, into a song, into when you sing about yourself, when you sing about the mental health, when you sing about sensitive issue about ourselves, is it
yeah,
kind of like heavy to record it, but
yeah,
you've play with it, you've sing all of it. How does it feel to be feel comfortable to talk about yourselves?
yeah. I think it can be difficult for sure. Um, I think at this point I've already shared so much that it's like now it's just like I don't really have anything to hide, and I also feel like once you realize that I could say like I have a song that's like I hate myself, but I don't want to, and everyone when they hear that they're like, oh, you hate yourself, like that's such a taboo thing to say. But once you sort of realize everyone kind of feels that way, like I don't know, everyone is dealing with something, and just because I say my specific thing, the next person has something just as bad. Like it's like even someone that is like had a perfect childhood still has um trauma and emotional issues. So like that's been part of this journey for me, is realizing that everyone is sort of carrying their own burden. And once you realize that, it sort of gets easier to talk about yours, because it's not like this scary unique thing. It's just more like, oh, this is my baggage that I'm carrying around. Doesn't make me worse. It's just the how the dice rolled.
Okay, this is my very very last question. Is it kind of like therapy session? I think more than interview. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe like any opinion to be to our viewers, to be honest with yourself. How to be honest with yourself from you
Ooh,
to our viewers.
how to be honest with yourself. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it has to do like with like where you're experiencing friction in your life, or pain in your life. Um, if you're, you know, you have to ask yourself, is it worth? If I'm trying to think of a good way to answer this,
Is it okay? Is
how
it
to be
okay?
honest with yourself? Because what I found in my life is, um, you can only be honest with yourself when you're ready to be honest with yourself. And a lot of people actually aren't really ready to be honest with themselves, because they're caught in some sort of narrative that is like serving their ego, or it's just what people don't realize is they're all sort of playing these roles that they were taught when they were young. Uh, and so it can be very hard to escape those roles and be honest with yourself. But what I've found is life will sort of push you into situations to force yourself to be honest with yourself, and the less you want to be honest with yourself, the more painful your life will become, until you are willing to be honest with yourself in a lot of cases. So that's why I say you have to look for the friction in your life, and sort of see like, okay, where am I not aligned with who I am, and where am I holding something inside that needs to come out. And yeah. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, try to be honest with yourself, and if you can't, then just know that life will
Yeah, yeah,
eventually
yeah,
put you
yeah.
in a place where you have to be honest with yourself.
Oh, such a deep talk, Anson. Thank you very much for this catching up with Anson Seabra, because we talk about so much about music in the past, and we're gonna maybe like, is it the right time to talk deep about your music and your and your maybe like your I don't know. It's kind of it's kind of good vibe interview to me. So, Anson, thank you very much for this session. Thank
Yes,
you very much
thank
for
you.
having me. Thank you very
Yes.
much. Okay, once again, CD Bestie. Twice again, I think. This is Anson Seabra. Thank you.